already. So it is going to be that aggro warrior going up against the Miracle Rogue. Trump getting that matchup he wants. Starts with the South D deckhand. And really, this is a combo that actually, when we were playing yesterday, I remember we were sitting here a couple times in a row, I was fighting, and they had the coin Fiery War Axe into the Bloodsail Raider on turn 2. And that's brutal if you can get that. He's not going to have the Fiery War Axe, at least not yet. Perhaps he could draw into it, and he is starting with the coin. So if you get that, it's such a crazy combo, man. You have the 3 damage War Axe, plus you have a 5/3 on turn 2.
Yeah, something that's really interesting is that StrifeCro doesn't know that he's queuing an aggro way right now.
Yeah.
But he kept this backstab anyway, because again, he just wants to fight for board control. If he faces something like a Cruel Taskmaster or an Armor Smith or a Frothing Berserker, he wants to be able to kill it. And he's going to be very surprised by this turn 1 Leperno. Yeah. That's when you see that as the Miracle Road player, you're like, oh my gosh, what just happened? Because now, what do you do? In this spot, all 3 of his options deal with this Leperno.
Yep.
But how does he deal with it? He doesn't really want to pay life. He
You
wants to
shiv
develop
probably.
his dagger, though, so he doesn't want to shiv it, but he doesn't want to waste this backstab either. This Earthen Ring Farseer are going to be a little bit more critical, I think, than he was thinking it was. Because I think in his mind, he's looking at it as a 3-mana 3/3 against a warrior deck, so you can start building some pressure against them. But in this matchup, it ends up being really critical for what's happening here, and you're going to see Trump just, again, play minion after minion and hope that his board presence can help fight against what's happening here. But again, StrifeCro keeping this backstab, even though he doesn't know he's playing against Aggro Warrior, is making a major difference in this game.
Yeah, huge difference already. He is going to be able to clear this out pretty easily, but he is paying the price with that dagger, unless he wants to spend the shift here, which I really don't think he's going to want to just yet. I mean, very likely just going to poke it and dagger up again, and that's probably going to be, no, okay, he decides to just Earthen Farseer as well, honestly.
Yep.
And now, I mean, do you think you just, no, I mean, you probably don't want to trade your Korkon, so, I mean, is it worth heroic striking? What are you kind of looking at here? Do you think the Frothing Berserker comes out? I mean, none of these plays are that great with the 3/3 sitting there.
Sort of what you were talking about, this is another position where StrifeCro is just opened really well.
Yeah.
Earthen Ring Farseer is not the minion
Yeah.
you want to see because it really lowers his critical mass point. And at the same time, none of his plays are currently good right now because there's 3/3 bodies on the board. So Frothing Berserker is not good. Korkon's just going to be a 4 damage spell. And using Heroic Strike here, again, you're not thrilled to do it, but I think you have to, just in order to start getting the board clear of minions. That way you can use things like Korkon Elite, and they actually get effectiveness in.
Yep, for sure. And there's that Fiery War Axe. I'm sure he wished he had that a while ago with that Bloodsail Raider, but he's not going to be able to do that anyway. And now, once again, very effective ways to deal with this. I mean, he does have the Shiv plus the SI agent if he wants to do that. Seems pretty straightforward to me.
Yep.
Probably going to go for that. And yep, another nice clear there. And although he's losing some HP, you know, he seems to have the answers every single time. And he has 2 Auctioneers in hand as well. Another charge is available. Now, do you think you just kind of pay the life total price here with Fiery War Axe, start buffing up the Frothing Berserker? Looks like a...
Yeah, Trump is not really concerned with his own life total at this point. So this Frothing Berserker comes down to 3/4, and now StrifeCro's used a backstab at this point. He's also used a Shiv, and he's also used an SI7 agent. So it becomes increasingly difficult for him to deal with unless he wants to start taking damage from something or start inefficiently using his cards. So his options here, of course, he can use Fan of Knives and Poison and Blade Flurry. Does he really want to do that?
But
I don't think so.
Fan and Deadly, right?
Right. He also doesn't want to take more damage to his own face, though. That's something he's going to be concerned with. He's already got this dagger out. I imagine that you're going to see something like Gadget Zane Auctioneer and just hope that your opponent kills the Gadget Zane Auctioneer, honestly, because that's a pretty scary spot for the warrior to be in. So he's kind of using this Gadget Zane Auctioneer as a taunt mechanism here. It's not a critical card in this matchup. He's hoping that his opponent's going to kill it here. So he's foregone the ability to kill this Frothing Berserker, but this is a dangerous spot to be in because that guy can grow big real fast if things get out of control. Trump also, by the way, he's got the Coin of Thorhell here, so that's a potential option for him as well.
Definitely is. And I mean, he also, the Iron Beak Owl, another option. He could just silence it, charge the face, and I mean, potentially he has, with the Korkon Elite, the 3 and the 6 from there, he has 10 damage. They can put into him right now. Plus the Iron Beak Owl, so that would put him to 13. Then he has damage on the board, Gorehowl in hand for 7 more. You know, he's only really looking to do 6 more damage than to kill him on the next 2 turns.
Upgrade would have been a really sick draw here, by the way.
Yeah, it would have. But I feel like he's just going to Korkon Elite. I mean, do you think he trades it? I think he just silences and you just go to the face.
Yeah, I think you just go for the face.
Yeah. I mean, this is good play. And next turn, he's going to have the Gorehowl. And, I mean, if he gets the upgrade next turn, that'd be pretty scary. And now it's like, oh, God, I have to clear this. He does have a Blood Mage Fan of Knives, which is going to help out somewhat. He also has Blade Flurry. Do you think you just Blood Mage Blade Flurry here?
I think you got a Blood Mage Blade Flurry or you got an Azure Drake Blade Flurry.
Yeah.
And the reason behind this is because you have to start killing your opponent now because after 6 more points of damage, you're looking at lethal here. It's like really screaming that your opponent either is desperate for cards or has the cards in his hand already, so you have to take an aggressive stance, almost kind of no matter which one's happening. So this is going to be 3 damage across the face, 4 more from the Auctioneer, and a Blade Flurry. And while Trump only has 13 more damage to go, Gorehal's really the only card left in his hand that deals damage at this point. So I don't know if he's going to be able to pull this one out. He's sitting at 12 HP, and so he's got to be thinking there's a potential for lethal here.
Yeah, well, he does have.
Oh my gosh!
Arcanite Reaper, man. Like he could. You can Arcanite Reaper and then Gorehal, but he's gonna die next turn.
Yep.
So I think he's probably donezo, but we'll have to see, man.
Well, if he doesn't die next turn, because the opponent is StrifeCro actually doesn't have lethal yet.
But there's so many ways to draw it. Like that's the thing. I mean, if he draws a Cold Blood, okay, well this isn't helping him just yet. Now, I mean, do you think you just? It's interesting that he's playing the Gnomish Inventor, by the way. Not really a card you see a lot in the Rogue deck. Why do you think he added that in?
He's one of these players who's going to fight really heavily for board control. So his style is going to be that he trades a lot.
Just appreciate that rather than the Loot Hoarder.
Yeah, well, his options are kind of Loot Hoarder, Novice Engineer, or Gnomish Inventor, and he's using the Gnomish Inventor sort of as a more resilient minion, so he can get Cold Blood down more often. At least that's what I imagine it would be there for.
Definitely makes a lot of sense. I mean, you could go Gadget and Auctioneer, just Fan of Knives, try to get the card draw. Obviously, you can just slam down the Gnomish Engineer is not a bad play as well. But do you think he's going to go Auctioneer and just Fan? No,
I think you try to hunt for a way to try to get. I don't know if he can actually kill his opponent this turn without Leroy, because he's going to draw 1 card off of this. So even if it's Cold Blood, that's 12 damage. So what he's looking at here is that Trump's actually got some outs to win the game now.
Yeah.
Because he's got like
even Upgrade would do it.
Right, Earthen Ring Farseer. So he's hunting for something like an Earthen Ring Farseer or a
God.
Leroy here. Wow, that's going to take him up to 11.
Yeah.
He's really sad he doesn't have a Shadow Step right now because he could go to 14. So now Trump's got to draw a way to deal 4 damage and play this Gorehound.
Oh, he gets
Oh
it!
my gosh, Mortal Strike! I forgot about that. Big plays from Trump. Wow, and this Aggro Warrior, again, the high amount of damage that this deck presents on these cards like this ends up becoming super impactful against Miracle Rogue simply because it's such a low critical mass for both of these decks. And so the Aggro Warrior